All right, we're going to be doing some streaming of Windows utility work tonight. Just coming back from vacay, so should be a good one. Not too much on the agenda other than to knock out some pull requests, some big work in that regard, and make sure I get that update done for the month. I always try to update Windows utility at least once a month, address some issues, those types of things that happen on stream. So should be a good stream, but we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully I don't get too sidetracked, as I do want to go to bed sometime tonight. But this is either going to be an hour long or it could be 5 or 6 hours long. I just don't know which yet until we start until we actually start going here. So yeah. All right, let's get going, and we shall do some Windows utility update work. I'm gonna get a few things on the thing here. Bam, we got our chat up, and we're gonna add some notes for the stream just so I know what I'm doing. So hopefully I don't get too sidetracked, but we'll see. It could be that. It was a fantastic week off. Fantastic. Went up to Colorado, actually. So very nice getting out of the Texas heat. Came back to Texas, and it's like Satan's armpit down here, just hot. But it's Texas. That's what I signed up for. Honestly, I like the heat compared to freezing. Freezing temps are not my jam. We'll see if I'm singing a different tune here in like a month when it's 110 degrees here. But yeah. That's where we're at. How y'all been? Oh boy. All righty, let's go. Let's go GitHub first. See what we got. Actually, I think we'll pull it up on our Windows instance, and we're gonna just go here with that. I want to say, oh, all right. Let's go GitHub. Do the old Windows instance. And this one's going to be WinUtil. Hopefully we don't have too much work to do, but I'm going to get this done today. We have 18 pull requests. Oh, crap. We might be going at this for a while. Okay, well, we got a couple. We got... Oof. All right. That's okay. It's looking all right. That is... Whew, quite a bit of stuff, and I think there's even one in here. There's a major one from Conti that he contacted me and says, hey, there was just so much queued up for the test request. He didn't want to do a PR because he has a big PR coming, and I was like, okay, well, we'll get this going. Yeesh. Yeah. So I load, it gives me 30 seconds of ad, like 2 seconds of stream, and then another ad, and it plays 90 seconds. So typically, like, if I was watching my stream and I didn't want to, like, obviously do like a subscription or anything like that, totally get it, I would pull it up on Titus Tech Talk on YouTube, watch the video over there, and then use Chatterino to chat. That's typically how I would do it. Now, I don't know, is my YouTube stream even working? Oh yeah, YouTube's up and going. So that's typically how I like to do it. Like, I like YouTube's video a little bit better because they have some like AV1 stuff, which is nice. And then, yeah, but this is going to be a little bit wild of a PR, I got to tell you. We'll see. Hopefully this is just a bunch of application garbage is my hope. Yeah. What the heck is Pixie? Has anybody ever heard of Pixie Package Manager? Yeah, let's see what this is. Part of the fun of doing Windows utility is I find all kinds of new software to explore and things of that nature. Pixie is a package manager tool for developers. It allows developers to install libraries and applications in a reproducible way. Use Pixie cross-platform on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Interesting. Well, that sounds cool. I mean, when it comes to Linux and Mac, it's actually not that big of a deal to just have like your list of things that you install for your development environment. Windows, on the other hand, just sucks. It's just awful to deal with. A lot of times setting up some of the environments can be problematic because you have like how it handles like global variables in Windows is just asinine. as Microsoft and Windows is. That's just what we deal with. But interesting. I like it. Very cool tool. All right. Test branch, add Pixie. Let's see what he's changing here. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. This is auto-generated, so you don't have to add anything here. It's actually just adding it right here is really all you have to do. Before we get going on the PRs, though, let's download, update our PR branch, and make sure everything loads properly. I would hate to get going and then be like, oops, that doesn't work. Yeah. All right, let's go and let's WinUtil, get pull. What do we have? Oh boy. All right, we have some stuff here. Now, I'm just gonna go WinUtil. Now this should just kick me out and say no admin, I bet you. Oh no, there, okay, there it goes. So it did launch just fine. What was our last update? Let's check that. We'll go about. Last update was 5.11. So it's been about 3 weeks since our last update. All right. So 3 weeks ago was our last update. We should have everything here. Let's just go oh my posh, and then let's say upgrades selected. Because it needed to be updated anyways, just making sure that that functionality still works. A couple little spot checks here. We'll go ahead, clear that out. That looks to be working great. Tweaks. Now I changed this up to standard, minimal, and then get installed. And that's basically it. I got rid of like laptop, desktop, that kind of stuff, because I just didn't feel like that was really doing a whole lot. So that's kind of where, kind of what I was thinking. I like it. So this one's good. I think I'm going to go and we'll just run a standard and run tweaks. Make sure that doesn't do anything bad and let that go in the background. Been daily driving Manjaro for a few weeks. All right, Nav. That's what I'm talking about. How you liking Manjaro? It's been a little bit since I tested Manjaro out. I always liked the lead developer, though, Philip Mueller. Good guy. He reached out to me whenever I was on Manjaro before it broke. But as it is with Manjaro a lot of times, the system updates back then, this would have been 2019, I think, last time I tried Manjaro. How's it going, Monk? We're doing a little Windows utility work tonight. I thought we'd knock it out, as I know Windows utility is not the most popular thing to stream, and I just have a ton of updates to do. I wanted to get these merged in and get the June update done. Get things knocked out. How's it going, Husky? We're doing these. The standard updates I kind of like, and it's actually kind of good just to do every month or two. Mainly because it'll fix any things that gets reset by like a Windows update, but also it'll clean up, run a full disk cleanup, the official Microsoft version, not some janky one that's just going to delete a bunch of stuff that you might need, but it just kind of goes through, prunes a lot of your Windows, like old Windows updates, old temporary files, that type of thing. And it does look like it's stuck, but it's not. It's just, again, Microsoft logic. It will go from 30% to 90% here shortly. How's the storms? Oh man. So I actually, Monk, we had a ton of storms here in Dallas Fort Worth where we had, I wasn't here. I was gone all this past week, so we missed all of it, but man, my backyard is a wreck. I'm going to have to spend some time this weekend going through it. I think we're actually going to Comic-Con this weekend, but yeah, we'll do that. That'll be fun. Did you shelf your Minecraft server? Yeah, I went ahead and shelved the Minecraft server. I hadn't been updating it in a long time, and it just, yeah, I'm so busy. There was just no way to maintain the old Minecraft server, so I had to take it down. Oh, you're an hour southeast of Dallas, so you got hit a bunch. You probably saw a lot more of the damage than me. Luckily, nothing too bad around my house. I still got to get up on my roof and check it, make sure nothing too bad happened. My mini split in here is starting to emit some kind of funky paint thinner style smell. So I'm going to have my AC guy take a look at that and see how that goes. The main issue so far with Manjaro is sometimes hard drives don't want to mount, but that may be an issue with the NTFS in Linux. Trying to think of what might cause that. If it sometimes mounts and sometimes doesn't, it's hard to say. I'm thinking I don't really mount through the file manager a lot of times. I always have found that a bit unreliable, and also I don't like the mount point it usually puts in there. Usually it's like a /run user, a really long UNC path kind of thing, and I don't like it, so I usually just mount it manually myself. All right, got our file system cleaned up. We got our tweaks finished. All that looks good. We'll clear that out. Move on to config. Nothing in the config, probably. We could always just do, we'll just click a legacy panel. Make sure that pops up. Yeah. Probably need to add the power panel. No, I got the power panel here. All right, we're good. Updates and MicroWin. Eventually, we got to get around to MicroWin, getting that updated. I've been saying I'm going to update MicroWin in a while. That's one thing I need to. I think Conti was working on an update on that too. So I'll reach out to him once I get this all buttoned up and merged tonight. Yeah, I do all my stuff through FS tab 2 nav. So usually how I like to operate on my on mine, usually I'll just do like a cat etcf tab. So usually what I do is in NTFS. I really hate even on my Windows systems, I really just work mostly off all my network drives. I find that just a lot better. Okay, so now we've got our tweaks finished. We've established, hey, this is a pretty good one. Let's finish with our PRs. I kind of want to work through these PRs in Cursor probably. So let's just bring that down. We'll go to comms and we're going to launch Cursor in Workspace 3. So let's see what we got here. I'm getting better, I think, with doing the PRs inside of like a VS Code style thing. Here, 1 second. It's late at night. We need a pet. Let's add another pet. Let's grab another cat. Feeling like a white cat tonight. We'll name him Barney. I like that. There we go. So now we got Barney down here. They love each other. That's nice. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. What do we got? Which GitHub project would that be? Yeah, there's my bash, I would say. Yeah, actually, I've aliased my cat to Bat. All right. Let's go to our PRs and see what we have. Ooh, I think we got that in GitHub. Oh, I'm not signed in. 1 second. Let me sign into old GitHub. And all right, 1 second. Old two-factor. Come on. No network connection, really? Come on. There we go. Bam. And finish my two-factor sign in and authorize. GitHub, I always have to kind of black out anytime I sign into GitHub because it shows, like always tries to dox me because it shows my public IP. Which is like, what the hell? Come on, man. Not cool. Not cool, GitHub. All right. How would you go about starting to develop Windows GUI apps for things that are easy scriptable, but people want a 90-ish UI? Well, the 90s UI is pretty easy. It's just the library you're picking. So if you want like a modern day, Windows 7 or Windows 11, you're going to be using WinUI 3 typically is the design that this is with like the rounded corners and such. Some people like it. Some people hate it. I kind of think it's okay. I think it's good. I like it better than Windows 10 probably. But Windows 7 UI is actually much easier. You can choose a lot of different things. If you want like a Windows 8 style, you could go Metro UI. There's a lot of different ones you could pick. Again, I'm not much of a software developer, even though I've kind of fallen in and started doing a lot more software development. Kind of weird how that's happened, but I do enjoy it. So, there's that. All right, so this one, I think we're gonna go ahead and merge. Pixie Package Manager sets up this package manager that basically replicates a development environment and it's also agnostic to the OS, and it's also free. Pixie.sh. I've never used this before. I do need to revisit it and look at that. I think that's pretty cool. So that's kind of where I'm gonna go with that. Oh, I'm not either. That's why I'm asking you. Yeah, I know enough. I usually know enough where to begin to ask the right questions. Really, that's all it is. That's honestly most development and stuff. Being able to ask the right questions to get the right answers. Or being able to distinguish a correct answer from a wrong answer, I'd say, is probably the biggest thing. All right, we're going to merge this guy. Test branch, everything looks good. Let's squash and merge. Looks good. Oh, you know, I should have probably approved that next time, but you know, such is life. All righty. Let's check the code here. What are we changing? Install Arc. Browsers, no chocolatey package. Arc. The browser company.arc. Anybody using Arc? Arc browser? I had a hot take on it a while back when it was Mac only, but it does look neat. I might actually have to do a video on that eventually. If it ever comes to Linux, I might. It is on Windows, so if you're just a hardcore Windows user, Arc browser might be worth checking out for you. But if you're a multi-user like Linux, I would just leave it alone. This looks good, actually. I think we can just, let's see. Now, if I want to approve or comment, oh, nope. So if we click here, come down, where's Arc browser? I'm gonna get it. Okay. So I'm gonna just click here, go there, go, okay. Oh, no. Why did you do that? I'm just gonna get more efficient with it. But it doesn't really do, I want it to make a comment on the code itself. Now I've been doing a lot more of my PRs directly in the web browser, which I really wanted to get more, a lot more efficient with, like just a VS Code style workflow for doing PRs. Been using Florp. All right. It's not too bad, yeah. I thought Florp was a decent iteration of Firefox. If you're a big Firefox user, I'd still say Florp's worth checking out. Which browser is working on Windows 7 these days? I wouldn't know. I would say don't use Windows 7 these days. Like, I can't give any advice on Windows 7, especially if you connect it to the internet. You're just like asking for problems. They don't have, there's so many security flaws. You have, I don't even know the rationale behind using Windows 7 in 2024. But you could probably use an older version of that. Thorium, honestly, Thorium has a browser. I know Alex, the dev behind Thorium, still uses Windows 7 for whatever reason. And, you know, to each his own. Windows XP, good night. Well, the problem with Windows XP is it's hard to do any SSL sites because you don't have anything modern working. It's probably achievable, which is neat. So I know Nav, but I like to think of those. I actually thought about it because all the source code got leaked for Windows 7. So I was like, well, maybe, just maybe. All right, let's approve this. Approve. So we should be able to approve that and then squash and merge. I would like to do comments directly here, but you see, add symbol in current chat, new chat. No. Open changes, file annotation, file history, share. Yeah. I want to make sure, one, I'm not modifying the file, so the blame is actually proper in here, but this one's pretty straightforward. It's very simple PR, so I'm not really that worried about it. We'll merge that one. And man, look at that, another Arc one. Oh, Hikari. All right, what's this one? It's probably the same. Arc. This guy did it incorrect too. He didn't have the WPF install. Yeah, dude, not cool. All right, well, that one is gonna be denied. Close. Already merged another PR with Arc, and this one was improperly named with no WPF install prefix. Choop. Yes. Moving on. Should I use Windows 95? You joke on Windows 95, but there was that one YouTuber guy. I shielded his video because I loved it. I watched it like the day before on a live stream, and he brought .NET into Windows 95, and I thought that was super interesting. He spent like 6 months programming .NET to work in Windows 95, which is kind of insane. All right. Yeah, it was insane. Anybody remember his name? He only makes a video like once every 6 months or something, but when he does, it's usually a banger. Total nutcase, bringing that in there. Or Giga Chad, probably both. Matt KC, that's it. Yeah, Matt KC was, oh, what a Chad. So good. All right, let's close this guy. All right, what do we got? NDI tools. All right. I've used NDI a little bit for doing like long distance, like OBS cameras and stuff like that. You can turn computer desktops, even phones. Yeah, there's actually a cool like KVM project that you could do on like a Pi that utilizes NDI, I want to say as well. What is he doing? WPF install NDI tools, multimedia tools, no chocolatey, NDI tools. Looks pretty straightforward. I like that. I think we can go ahead and do a squash and merge of this. We'll approve it and merge. Pull request. Let's see. What else do we have? Test. Alrighty. So that one's good. All right. Moving on. Docs. What do we got? Is this another PR farmer? Have you guys heard of this? Like people on GitHub that just make like a dot or a period or just a minor change just so they can say they were a contributor to your project. Super weird. I didn't know people actually cared about that crap. Like, instead of like doing that, why wouldn't you just like make your own project and then do a whole bunch of stuff? Like, if you cared that much about like GitHub rep, just do that. Like, you would just get so many commits. That's just crazy to me. Yeah, the PR farmer. I don't know what I didn't know that was a thing, but pretty damn funny. Yeah. Be like, I have several thousand followers on GitHub. It's such a weird flex. Oh, all right. It does look like, yeah, okay, that's actually valid. And make sure the status is running. Make sure to set its status to running. Okay. Yeah, that's actually proper. I failed English class, guys. And usually if I'm doing something with the wiki, I'm usually just like, blah, 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 done. All right, move on to the next. So you're always going to see grammatical errors and misspellings in my projects. It's who I am. And I'm totally okay with people pointing that out. So if you are a PR farmer, just look for bad errors. You'll definitely see them. In my projects, you can PR farm me all day long if you're fixing my spelling and grammatical errors. There's so much meat there. All right, what does it prove that? It is on the test branch. Everything else looks good with this PR. So appreciate you, lazy stability. All right. Oh, let's see what else we got. Will there be an option to run Windows utility without chocolatey and WinGit installation? I just kind of want to run the tweaks. There's also, we need to go back to one shot. Now, I've thought about that, Frozert, because I actually built a project to run completely offline using all .NET libraries and C#, and the JSON file that is just the tweaks JSON. That was, oh geez, it's almost like 6 months now. So that's kind of a crazy thing. All right, Conti, what do we got here? We got a visibility bug. Oh no, he's just fixing that. If test path, he's checking this. to make sure that OFC DIMG exists. That looks good. Oh no, he's removing that. It looks nothing else there. That's fine. What else do we have? It looks like he commenting out the PowerShell no profile bypass. Where is test path here? Looks like my logo. We're doing a convert to ICO for the logo icon. Automation block. Okay. Yeah, this was supposed to create the Windows utility in the ISO, and I think he's commenting that out. I'm okay with that, actually. I mean, it's so easy to run the utility regardless. It shouldn't matter. Now, as far as the input XAML file, what changes are we making here? It looks like the directory search, Scratch directory. That looks good. We'll have to check that. This just shows ... for the button content. Ah, okay. Let's take a look at that. I think that looks good though. I trust Conti on that. And he was actually the original designer whenever it got reworked with the new library framework for how it currently looks. The new like flashy dark theme. That's why like Conti's like XAML file and stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's probably going to be a lot better. Looks like he's framing the column definitions a little bit better. So we'll have a probably more distinct split in MicroWin, which all these are little MicroWin adjustments. So I like that. I think that's going to be great. It is a bigger PR, so we will test this one, not just adding an application. Looks great. Testing these MicroWin fixes out and merging to main. Give a little bit more of an explanation on Conti's PR here for the scratch button fix. Use Grammarly. I should. You know, build a grammar AI. But Grammarly's gotten super annoying lately. It's like always like adding and it like, if I see one more IT company or tech company come out and say anything more about AI, I'm going to just lose my stuff, man. I can't. If I see one more people, it reminds me of when everything was like blockchain or cloud-based. It was cloud-based and blockchain, and now it's all AI-driven. And I'm like, oh, man, I understand people, but, oh, yeah, kind of wild. First time watching me live. All right. Well, hope you're enjoying yourself. This is going to be a little bit more of a tame stream, mainly because it's late night and just doing PRs. So this one's good. Let's flip back to here, and what we're going to do, pull up our thing. Let's do a git pull just to make sure we're clear. Pull. So we have all our requests in. We've got all that pulled down. Let's just launch WinUtil. And we're going to test out the new and improved. We got our tweaks. We got our config updates. For our applications, we'll make sure that built correctly. What was one of them? Pixie. Pixie was a new one. What was the other one? Arc. Yeah, there's Arc. Okay. That looks good. MicroWin. Here's the from scratch directory. I think this was actually causing some issues before. Conti fixed that. So that all looks great. More bug fixes. Hot diggity dog. All right. Next up. Man, we're just jamming through some PRs tonight. I tell you, I got to do more late night streams. Got to do more late night streams. Because you're gonna see it the summertime. You're gonna get the Tuesday and Thursday streams, but you're gonna see a lot more late night streams from me. Because one, I don't have to wake up and drop my daughter off at school any day, and I am just gonna be hitting this up good. I always work better this way. Yeah, in before the 3 a.m. Chris stream. Were you there, Nav, when I did the midnight stream when I rebuilt the system? And I was like, crap, I got to get everything set up. And I hadn't. And I was like, well, I want to stream it because then people are going to be like, how'd you set up your system? And like, hey, here's the 2-hour live stream of me setting up my system. That was a good one. Ah, yeah, saw part of it. That was a fun one. Tweaks page overhaul by Conti. Oh, Conti has been busy. He has been busy. I like how he broke up these ones. All right, so we got toggle button color. We have that. All right. All right. That looks gravy. Ooh, what do we got here? We got WF toggle tweaks hibernation. Set hibernation as default. Good for laptops. Ooh, okay. So we're adding something? Yeah, I hate hibernation. I just do. Even in laptops. But I understand I am the minority here. Conti is absolutely right. Most dirty Windows users need their hibernation in their laptop. I still say standby, and then whenever you can, shut down your work. But I understand. There's people that like hibernation. I just hate it. I really hate hibernation. I think Windows does it so bad. Yeah. But absolutely, there should be a hibernation tweaked laptop. I agree. Conti is right. Even though I don't use hibernation. Even though, if you are on a laptop user and you don't like actually closing things and you want to be able to pull your desktop back up, you'd hibernate it, I guess. Yeah. Anywho. All right, what do we have? Gip tab XML. We got a couple changes here. Okay, we're changing from a stack orientation to a dock panel last child fill. And interesting. I wonder what this is going to look like. We got a different horizontal alignment. Checkbox. This is dynamic generation going on here. Well, no. No, this is the get. Let's see. Yeah, this is just getting existing tweaks, it looks like. Interesting. Okay. I'm curious to see what this looks like. I like it. It's honestly shorter, so nice. All right, now, we've got a lot of GUI changes tonight. This is going to be interesting. So we got the toggle switch. Quite a bit being more declared. Quite a bit more being declared in the toggle switch. Different style. So we were using an ellipsis. He's changing the style of the toggle switch. Interesting. Little mouse over dynamic action. Okay. Adding a broad brush border. And changing it from a margin property to a fill property on the ellipses. Dude, this is going to make it look cool, I think. I never really liked the toggles that much. I thought they were an improvement over not having them at all. Or the first iteration of the toggles were just awful. It's slowly gotten a little better, but it's still not very good. This could be a game changer. That could be very, very good. Oh, dude, okay. I think this is another really good Conti. I think it's another good Conti PR here, guys. Wait. Oh, no, I checked it out, didn't I? Darn it. Dang it. See, that's what happens. That's what happens if I get click happy. All right, go back. Go back. Go back in time. All right. I already checked out the main. Oh. This is why I always end up just using the browser. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just like it better. Let's just update cursor while we're at it. Yeah, best stream was the late night rebuild. I agree. That was fun. You enable hibernation on your desktops? No, ban. No. Oh, don't use hibernation on a desktop. That's just silly. That's just silliness. Where is the update on this? Let's just update this while this is going. Heck. Let's just pull this guy up. Let's just switch back to our test branch for a second. Really? Isn't it all like... interesting. Oh, well. Oh, nice, Snake. Yeah, you know, I've really enjoyed the live streams a lot more. I've been able to get more into getting into a lot of the things I enjoy more by doing live streams. So I've actually made a little bit. I've kind of bounced back and forth on video making. Still obviously going to make videos. I mean, I still love making the videos, but it seems like with YouTube, you know, making a video every like week or two is totally okay on like the main channel. I really just enjoy kind of exploring things and being able to update projects. It feels like it makes more of a difference because people actually use this, where sometimes with a YouTube video, you just sometimes can just miss the mark and then people are like, that was okay. That Titus guy's all right, I guess. And then they just move on to the next doom scroll of a video. Where like this is like you're actually using your computer. You can like use the project. And I love that. All right, let's go. Tweaks page overhaul. I like this. Let's merge it and then test it. I could honestly check out and then test it on his side, but I just really like this. This is awesome. We're just gonna do that. Give some encouraging words. We're gonna approve it, and we are gonna merge this guy. The Conti's tweak PR is coming in. Oh, and he also is working on the disable copilot, addressing an issue in there. So I didn't see that in this tweak. So let's pull this down. And I'm really curious. Do we have? We'll pull this in. Let's git pull. Got to give it a second. I think some of the GitHub actions haven't pulled in yet. So let's give it a second and then we'll pull it again. Man, that Linux from scratch video was incredibly successful, by the way. That live stream was the most viewed live stream I've ever done in my life. Me doing Linux from scratch, going through all that stuff, Nav. Can you believe that? I mean, Linux from scratch is like a hilarious thing to build everything up. But I think the funny thing about Linux from scratch is, like, let's say you do everything right, you get all of it done and you get it all up and going. You're never going to be able to daily drive it because you couldn't keep up with all the security patches and package updates that happen. You'd have to be rebuilding it like every day. You'd spend hours every day just trying to keep up with your Linux from scratch instance. So Linux from scratch is such a fun experiment, and I don't think I'll ever finish it. I looked at it and I was like, this is just utterly ridiculous. But that's so cool. I mean, I did not realize there would be that much demand for people to look at Linux from scratch. I thought it was hilarious. It was fun. It's fun to know that that exists. But yes, you're better off finding a package manager you like and marrying it. Long live Zypper. You know, Zypper has the best syntax crash. I just don't like OpenSUSE that much. Although with Zypper, I don't know if you use the open build service with OpenSUSE. That's amazing as well. I think it's like OBI or OPI. I can't remember. It's a 3-letter word. But it's very good. Very good. I use OBS. No. Yeah, I forget the package manager for the AUR style from OpenSUSE. Very cool, though. I was really... Open build service. Okay, so it is OBS. I think OBS Studio for that. But I think the actual acronym that you type in terminal wasn't like OPI or something. Yeah. All right, that should be enough time for GitHub Actions to run. There it is. There it is. All right, here it comes. The new and improved. Oh, look at what Conti did. Look at this. Oh, that is cool. I gotta say, that's a vast improvement. One, not nearly as bulky. Dang. That's slick. What's so impressive about this, guys, too? Like, a lot of people, this has gotten to the point where people actually think it's a program. This is a script. I have to tell people that, but this is just a PS1 file script. That's all it is. So everything you see here is being built live before your eyes, and then as soon as you click the exit, it exits it. That's kind of crazy, right? So like I sometimes get some questions and people are like, hey, how do I uninstall your thing? I ran it, but or did it get installed somewhere in my store? I'm like, no, man, it's literally just this. It's a PS1 script. Even more so than this command, it's actually directly run off of GitHub. So you don't actually have the file on your system. It actually runs live. So I don't want to illustrate that. Just one to test it too, because that's a big change, but man, does it look so, God, Conti is gifted, man. Such a good dev. Let's reload. Let's reload old WinUtil. Let's come into here. And I want to show this here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's go into our test tab. 13.4 thousand stars so far. Heck yeah. So here's our WinUtil and the test branch. We're going to click the raw file. This is the raw build file. We're going to copy it. What we're going to do is we're going to come into, let's go workspace 3. Come into here. So instead of running it from the local file that we've done all the changes to, I'm going to illustrate this. So we're going to do a IRM, which is just shorthand for invoke rest method. You could honestly just do invoke dash rest method like this, and then type your full path. So then we do christitus.com win is usually how we do it. But in this instance, we're going to just feed it the entire raw test WinUtil PS1 file. Now what that would do is just grab the script and then display it on the screen. So what we do is we pipe that entire input that we're grabbing from the invoke rest method. And then we just do an IEX to basically grab it and execute it. So if this does properly, pulls the script down, runs it directly from GitHub. So nothing is actually ever installed on your machine. Whew, that is sweet. This has to be completely redone. I gotta redo that. Old Windows, old Microsoft and their things, but we now should have the disable, see, set hibernation as default and disable Copilot. I think we leave that. I'm probably gonna change the order of that a bit. I think we'll just get disable Copilot real fast. Let's fix that order. Yeah, Windows debloaters are tricky too because you have to update them all the time. Like every single, I would say about once every week or two. When you say that, chat, I like, you know, I'd say I'm usually pulling it up about every 2 to 3 weeks on live stream. I didn't want to waste today's, like my main live stream times are usually like Tuesday, Thursday in the afternoon. And I really have something special tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to work on some like Linux utilities. So that's why I wanted to do this tonight. Because I do this so often that I know people are tired of me looking at PRs. But it's so neat to see the evolution of it too. So, ooh, so cool. Yeah, first found WinUtil 3 years ago or something like that. It's so wild to think it's still the same script. It all just morphed from that. MS Recall gang. I mean, that was a fun video to do, Ranson. The Microsoft Recall. I think I was one of the very first to break that, which was nice on YouTube at least. And then everybody just kind of took it and ran with it. The funny thing is, like, the recall still requires you to have an AI chip directly in. It's like the neural processing thing for the new Windows ARM based laptops. So it's not ever going to be like a thing probably on your desktop PC right now. Now, if there's like a Copilot Plus desktop computer that gets built, then watch out, which I think that is actually in the works. I can't remember if it's AMD or Intel that's going to do it, or maybe both. I don't know. But right now it does require that NPM chip. So you should be safe on the recall, just getting enabled. And then all of a sudden everybody's seeing your dirty little internet habits. But it's wild. I still am flabbergasted that ever made it through. But you can't ever underestimate the stupidity of Microsoft. Like, you know, it's got to be some like, you know, all of the executive staff in Microsoft just run by like AI tech bros at this point. Like they've got their MBAs in marketing, and there's not an engineer at all. There's like nobody with an engineer background that's working in the executive C-suite of Microsoft now. It's all AI tech bros and like MBAs that just have no business making these big decisions. And it's just funny to see what Microsoft comes up with next. I'm like, well, you know what? You couldn't find better advertisement for tweak tools and debloat tools and the things I do. So thanks. It's wild. It's just wild. You know, like, I mean, I would get so mad if I was just like a full-time sysadmin still. I would be so pissed at all these things. But now that I do what I do, it's more of a, Oh, well, I guess I'm more relevant today than I ever have been. That's kind of awesome. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar, chat, what Microsoft Recall is, just a recap of my video I made. Microsoft. Oh god, it's just gonna be article after article. And a Windows AI feature that screenshots everything, labeled a security disaster. I mean, it is. So basically what it is there's this NPM chip in Copilot Plus PCs, the new ARM-based laptops that are coming out, that should be here in the next week or two. And, oh no, June 18th. And when that happens, what happens is there's a recall feature that takes a screenshot every couple seconds and puts it on your thing, and then generates an AI thing to scrub it to describe whatever it is you're looking at, to describe whatever it is you've done on your PC. So then you can easily recall exactly that time step. So let's say I had an Excel sheet with all the passwords. I could just be like, hey, I was looking at an Excel sheet with a bunch of passwords. Can you show that to me? And then recall will go and grab that information. Or I'd be like, hey, I was looking at some content online and it had a girl with red hair in it. Show that to me. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Anyways, somebody actually greenlit this, and this comes with Microsoft. That is crazy. So it's basically a giant OCR AI driven service that will run on Copilot plus PCs. Yeah, that is so wild. And they thought this was a good idea. That is the most crazy thing. Like, how much dope do you have to smoke to think that this was ever a good idea? Like, as immediately as I saw the clip that was shared all over Twitter, I was like, oh, thank you. This is such a good present. As someone that makes content for a living, I saw this and I just like, what a present. What a just absolute joy that is. Like, yeah, honestly, who is okay with this? Nobody's okay with it. I mean, there's like literally nobody. Like, there was some of the tech outlets like The Verge and some of the people, and basically what happens is like the intern at Microsoft writes up like a fluff piece for them to publish, and then they publish it according to whatever back-end deal they got going on. I mean, I don't know for a fact that that's the case. Don't sue me, bro. I've already got a demand letter for somebody for saying something like that. We all know it works. Anyways, speculatively, just hypothetically, that's how it works. You know what I'm saying? Again, don't sue me. But we all know most of these publications online, that's how it works. And there's all these fluff pieces over Copilot. And then as soon as it hit Twitter and people saw all this, they were like, are you kidding me right now? This is wild. This is absolutely crazy. So it got shared everywhere. So I picked that up as soon as I saw it, and I was like immediately like dropped everything. I'm going to make a YouTube video right now over this because you have to. And yeah, that's the gist of it. But inevitably, it's just going to be another registry setting in my toolbox. Very easy to trace. It's taking a screenshot every few seconds, and you have to allocate disk space for that because it's supposedly stored local, which you pretty much have to be with that much data and screenshots. So it's not going to be a difficult thing to make sure it doesn't get turned on or disabled. I'm not worried about it. As much people now people are starting to run with it and go kind of crazy. I'm like, no, we can still disable it. It's fine. It's hilarious that that's an actual feature, but it's not something that's going to be very hard to disable or get around. Much like Copilot itself, most of it we'll be able to strip out of the back end. It's just wild. Is all that we have to do that. I think that's amazing. I think it's actually 50 gigs Ruby is the defaults for recall. So not 200 gigs, but 50 gigs. A little more reasonable. And I think that takes up, I think allocated was 3 months of historical accuracy. Now you can allocate more if you like, but that's up to you. So yeah, if you do want this feature, you crazy person out there, there's going to be somebody. I'll probably enable it as soon as I can, just because think of the content. I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have so much fun with Copilot Plus recall features. It's going to be at least like a couple videos. Oh, it's going to be a blast. But yeah, obviously I'm not going to put it on my main system that I actually have like information on. That would be wild. But yeah, it's supposed to be all stored locally. How true that is, what gets reported, can it be recursed or searched from like a remote access? Probably. You know, all those fun Microsoft things you have to worry about. Yeah, I'll just use it in a VM. I mean, hell, that's how I use Windows right now. I mean, you think I like want to use Windows as my base? That's just wild. I'm a big fan of compartmentalization. Found your YouTube channel, installed Linux Mint on my mom's old PC, working great. Nice. Good to hear, man. I did the same for my father-in-law. I have an old MacBook Pro mid 2010s, wondering if I could install Debian KDE on it. That's an i5, 8 gig, NVIDIA 33M. You probably could, Neo, but, well, yeah, no, I don't see a problem with that. Yeah, no, I think that would work actually pretty decent. KDE might be a little heavy for it, but it's better than using, like, I think the last supported version for a mid MacBook Pro would be High Sierra. It was the last NVIDIA support in Mac OS realm, which I think High Sierra was before Catalina. So Catalina, I know, wouldn't support it. And I think, yeah. So if you wanted to, honestly, when it comes to some of those MacBook, people sometimes still buy a 10-plus-year-old MacBook. I don't know why, you know, Mac people are weird. But you could actually probably resell it. I'd probably load like a fresh version of High Sierra and just sell it fresh. And you'd still probably get a couple $100 for something even that old. It's kind of wild that that's a thing, but yeah. And then you could just go buy a new laptop, honestly, with that. Close to, at least. Is it possible to dual boot Mint in Windows 11 easily? Smokey, yeah, absolutely. I've done a lot of dual booting on my channel. I would say the biggest thing when it comes to dual booting Windows is have a separate drive. Have one allocated for Linux, one allocated for Windows. Also, when you're setting this up, it's best to install the Windows partition and the Windows install on that one drive first, then add the drive for Linux and install Linux on the secondary drive. Windows Boot MGR, which is the boot manager for Windows, sometimes goes haywire and likes to overwrite the Linux partitions. So it's best to do it in that order. But yeah, absolutely, you've done that. I've honestly wiped out my bootloader so many times, and heck, I've done all kinds of crazy stuff with the boot managers when it comes to dual booting. Yeah, here, we can chat for a second. Looks like chat kind of came alive here. Do I have a chat? Oh, look at that. I do have a chat. All right. But yeah. I like when it comes to dual booting, I like to do that. My setup here on this system is just a VM. So I do everything in Linux, and then I just virtual machine into my box, Windows box. You can actually start on blocking recall, Chris. Download the insider build. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty easy. I have I don't want to reveal my sources, but I actually have some insiders at Microsoft too. So we got our bases covered. I have zero worries about not being able to rip out recall or Copilot as it expands. Big Chris. Yeah, I still have like a little bit of a green outline. I should probably have something fun going in the background. What do I have anything here? Let's see. I'll work on my transitions. Still working on this live streaming thing. One of these days, I'm going to be a professional live streamer. Will your WinUtil work on handheld gaming devices like the Asus ROG Ally? Absolutely. I would highly recommend you run it and tweak out the Rogue Ally with it. There's a couple changes like I would probably make with it. Let me see. Would I launch this? I'm going to just see real fast if I would change anything. I'll tell you just a second. Let's go. IRM. Actually, for the tweaks on a Rogue Ally, yeah, pretty much would stick with the standard. There's nothing here that I think would mess with a Rogue Ally. There's a lot of things. Yeah, everything looks good here. I do need to change the disable Copilot as well. That's a new addition to turn Copilot off. I don't think there's anybody that's actually using Copilot. It's pretty worthless. So, Mur, thanks for the sub. Yeah, no pilot. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't have any worries about any of this. And most of it is, you know, with anything, a lot of people like critique, whether it's Linux or Windows, they critique a lot of that stuff. And it's really not something, you know, saying one operating system is better than another. It's really, I think with every operating system I've ever dealt with, even Mac, I really do a lot of tweaking on all of them because I like to get every single thing. I like to be as comfortable as possible in my environment, and that usually requires me to tweak it quite a bit. So that's just my opinion. So I don't really mess around too much with a stock experience. There's some purists out there that think you should just install the operating system and leave it all the same and it should just come perfect. But that's just not the world we live in, you know? So I'm always game for that. And like a good example is probably the one operating system that is probably the most baked out of the box that you don't have to change too much is probably Mac. But to be fair with Mac users, there's a lot of unneeded animations. So usually the first settings I like to do on a Mac is strip down a lot of the, take out a lot of the animations. The next the changes I usually make is, I think it's like a cache change I make, and some of the fancy graphics, specifically like the shrinking or the genie effect and those types of things. I remove all of that out of a Mac. And there's some third-party tools I do like to add to Mac as well. Specifically, like its window management is the worst out of any operating system in existence. Finder, and there's tweaks I have to make there. Also, the file management is not great. So I like just being able to snap windows to the left, snap them full screen, snap them to the right without those weird window management techniques in Mac. So that's just my opinions on some of the tweaks. I dabbled a fair bit here ever since CompWiz became a thing. I first tried Ubuntu and then moved to OpenSUSE. Okay. And then I didn't touch Linux for a long time. All right. Yeah, it's weird. It kind of comes in phases for me. You know, there was times where, like, especially those first couple years of switching to Linux, it definitely, I dual booted a bunch during those days where there still would be things in Windows that I was like, oh, okay, I have to go do that. Very few today, though, that actually bring me back to Windows full force. You don't necessarily remove it, but you can disable stuff in Mac, Smokey. The actual terminal in Mac is pretty powerful, and you can get quite a bit of optimizations done in Mac. And I would probably make some kind of utility or something for Mac and charge $100 for it. if I was a smart guy. The problem is I really hate being in Mac. I really hate the aesthetic of Mac. So I guess if I get really hard up for some money, you might be seeing a Mac utility. Because there's one thing about Mac users is there's some money there. There's a lot of money in a Mac. So yeah, that would be probably my game plan if I was ever going to do something like that on a Mac. It would be very easy to write the same kind of thing what I do with Windows utility on a Mac. Yeah, I think Unix util is the next branch. Agreed, Solo. I'm actually working on a Rust and stuff on some of that, so it should be fun. But yeah, I think my audience would rebel if I ever made a video about Mac. I've done a couple videos on Mac, but it was never. I think it was like several years ago when I had like the little Mac Mini and things. but I haven't even loaded that up in many years. I still have it back there. I think I kind of want to do like a Asahi whatever that project is for Linux. I would like to get Linux going on that M1. It would be fun. I'm just thinking, I think it should be going soon. Yeah, the April Fools was a good one. Yeah, I couldn't even be bothered to load up my M1 and then pipe it in and then mirror the stuff on my PC. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to use the Mac OS X project and do a Mac VM. There was a couple people that got that Easter egg in the April Fool's video. It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. All right, let's get back to it. I thought I'd just chat for a little bit. Reset the brain. Here we go. Let's get these things done. We're getting there. So we are down to, actually, we're getting through these PRs pretty good. Did you play with Comp Wiz back around 2007? I think so. Or let me see. Just to make sure we're talking about the compositing window manager. I remember the cube effect. So I remember this. So when it came to the compositing window manager types thing, there was, for composition, there was Compiz, and then it moved to Compton. I think Compton superseded this. Actually, there's still a stable release that is pretty close on this one. Man, you look at it. So there's Compton, and then PyCom's really what's taken over now. And I know there's Wayfire now that's very similar to. Interesting. I don't think I ever really used it though. This is before my time, I think, with really using daily driving Linux desktop. So I was a long-term Linux user, but only servers. So I was always a terminal guy. That's been my thing. Like, I think that's probably lost on some people with some of my content, that I always was just like, from probably 2000. Actually, no, I used Knoppix back in the mid 2000s to hack Wi-Fi networks. So there is that. You could do that, or if you're particularly evil and want to do like war diving and things like that. Knoppix, is that still around? I'm getting sidetracked. At every stream I get sidetracked, but I kind of want to know this. Knoppix is still around, huh? Let's see. What was the last release? 2 years ago. Okay, so Knoppix is still kicking. I don't know. I think probably Kali Linux is what has kind of taken its place. Back in these days, I remember it came loaded with a bunch of like Wi-Fi tools, so you could hack into a lot of Wi-Fi networks relatively easily. So everything used WEP encryption back then. Very, very little. I don't think WPA2 was quite mainstream yet. So everything was like hexacode, WEP encryption, all like AT&T routers came with it. So I remember sitting in an apartment in this would have been 2000 and I would say 2004 or 2000. Yeah, probably 2004, 2005. And I remember being on the third floor of my apartment, and I was stringing together a whole bunch of Wi-Fi networks and trying to combine them and then load balance the apartment Wi-Fi. I didn't pay for internet, so I had all these different Wi-Fi networks, and I'd pull them in, and then I'd load balance between them all, depending on what I was downloading. So terrible. But that was like the glory days of WEP and like zero encryption. Like, it was so easy to break them. Like, if there's any kind of traffic on the WEP network, which still people used Wi-Fi back then a lot, and it was so easy. It took like maybe 2 to 5 minutes to crack the web passwords. If there was any kind of traffic on there. If there was almost no traffic, you could still crack it, but it took a lot longer. Anyhow, it's fun. It was fun, man. It's a smile on my face thinking of those days. Oh, you're very new to Linux, like just this week. All right, Neo. Why don't you like Fedora? Almost all YouTubers are placing it as their top distro. Just asking, want to understand. There's a couple reasons for that, Neo, for Fedora. Specifically, Red Hat, I'm not a huge fan of. They do sponsor a lot of things like Systemd, which is the init system that makes everything kind of work on a lot of distros. It is pretty much the de facto standard, and that's actually made by Red Hat. So Red Hat makes Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which is huge in business. And not as many businesses use it as you think, but there's still quite a bit. because it's one of the only like paid for support business plans. Every business I've been in, we've always done something different. We never really paid for the Red Hat support plan. Very cool that it exists, but still not a thing. I digress. When it comes to Fedora or Red Hat in general, the reason why I don't like them is they've screwed over sysadmins, and they've had some really just terrible takes over the years. Specifically, CentOS getting killed. That's what the Linux I learned on, which is CentOS was a lot like Fedora, and it was used to be a one-to-one bug equivalent to Red Hat Enterprise Linux, meaning it's just like RHEL, but not sponsored. You didn't have to pay them money. There was no sign in. You just were able to do CentOS. So anyways, a lot of my servers and a lot of sysadmins out there ran CentOS 7, and then CentOS 8 came out about 3 or 4 years ago, I want to say, about 2020, I want to say. And then it should have 10 years of support. Red Hat basically acquired CentOS, and then a year later, after CentOS 8 was developed, they killed it. They just straight up said, sorry, there's no 10-year support. Every sysadmin, you have a couple months, and then you're screwed. You have to migrate to something else, which means you have to put in a lot of work. So Red Hat basically just screwed over a bunch of sysadmins. So that's why I called them the devil. I made a video about it. I was like, no more Red Hat stuff. And then there was the controversy last year was them closed sourcing. Not really closed sourcing, but they basically required you to have a sign-in for any like RHEL-based source code. And that was like a way of kind of walling off some of their source code, which is a big no-no in the FOSS realm. And Red Hat did this because there's businesses out there that were using Red Hat Enterprise Linux distros. Oracle Linux, Alma Linux, Rocky Linux are essentially Red Hat Enterprise Linux, but without Red Hat support or certification that you have to pay for. And people are like, okay, well, if you're coming from Windows, you're like, hey, well, that's okay. That's fine. They put in some work. They should be able to take it and make money. Yeah, that's the Windows user logic. But how FOSS works, or free open software, is everything is giving out. It's free and open source, meaning all that should be given out. As long as you maintain that anything you create on it also has to be given out. So if I have anything that's Linux based, like let's say I make Tinus Linux, I have to publish the source code somewhere. Mandatory. Red Hat is no exception here, and they're kind of like skirting the line, and they've done a lot of shady stuff like that to where they're trying to make money, and it's IBM and the greed of really Red Hat that's kind of taken hold, and it's just a matter of time before they screw up Fedora. And they already are kind of starting that by pushing some things with Fedora. Specifically, the latest release is making sure everything's Wayland. They want everything Wayland, no Xorg. Obviously, I'm an Xorg fan. Like, you look at my stuff, I'm an Xorg guy. I like Xorg. It works. Where Wayland with an NVIDIA chip kind of sucks. It's not the most seamless example. And they're basically forcing it, saying, hey, we're pushing Wayland. You can still install Xorg for the next release or two of Fedora, but come Fedora, what is it, like 42 or 41, they're completely like taking it out of the repos and you're forced on Wayland, which is fine if Wayland worked great, but Wayland works like a turd in NVIDIA land. So if you're using an NVIDIA proprietary driver, it's just not a fun experience a lot of times. So sometimes, I mean, maybe they'll work it out in 2 years, but I think Red Hat's really trying to push that forward. Take that for what you will, but I don't really like some big company telling me what to do. I like having the ability to do whatever the hell I want on my computer. And I feel like when you do Fedora, it's only a matter of time before Red Hat really tells me something I really don't like, and I'm just like, not cool, I'm leaving. So that's why I don't like Fedora. It is a good distro, though. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a good distro. And Red Hat does make some good stuff. That's just some of the history, some of the reasons why I don't particularly like it. It's not to say it's bad, it's just to say it's not for me. And that's the beauty of Linux, is that can exist, And that's it. The difference between like what's Xorg and Wayland, just to give a little bit more. Yeah, I should probably overview that real fast. They're just the display renderer. It's how things are displayed. So if you are on an Xorg system, you could run Xrandar, and this is kind of how you'd set some of your resolution. You can set some of those things around. However, if you're not on an Xorg system, Xrandar doesn't exist. You would typically do it on Wayland, which Wayland uses something called WL Randar, and it's the same thing like that. It uses like WL roots and some other things that are a different backend. They work fundamentally different, and I get Wayland is the future. It's just there's certain things Wayland does for me that I don't like. NVIDIA is not quite baked. And then probably the last thing, and this is such a weird niche thing that only applies to me, is up here on the top corner is Synergy. And I still use Synergy or Barrier or Input Leap. Pick your poison. All of them are the same thing. Don't buy Synergy. Just go to Input Leap on GitHub and get the free project. Amazing. It's even better than Synergy. I just am too lazy to switch. I digress. It's Xorg only though. And we're still waiting on Wayland. Wayland's close though, and I'm really hoping Wayland turns that corner in the next year or two, but I'm a little hesitant to say that's going to happen because they've been saying it's going to happen for like the last 5 or 10 years. Yeah, and Xorg is crap. It doesn't support HPR. I agree with that, Demon. It's not great for HDR. It also variable refresh rates. Oh God, it handles it like crap. Xorg is old. It's very old. But, I mean, heck, look at me. I'm a 144 refresh on 1080p. I'm actually doing a little bit. This is more of a mirrored type setup so you guys can see what's happening. And I've been doing some gaming, so I kind of splintered off mine so I don't have any of the input lag from my mirroring system. So this is a little bit unique setup for Xorg. It can still do a lot. But yes, it can't do... HDR is probably a big thing. The other thing it can't really do that is a big deal, its scaling really sucks. Where Wayland is the future for scaling and HDR. I think those two things are very fair critiques, and I agree 100%. So if you're a big HDR person and you need scaling, get yourself an AMD GPU and run Wayland. I'm not saying you can't run Wayland, but there are some criteria to make sure you have the best time possible. And not all hardware is created equal. X11 is 40 years old. Yep, that's true. It was actually originally, I think, dot matrix printers is what it was designed for, and mainframes. And it's been morphed into what it is today. I understand. Xorg is terrible, but it still works great. At least for my purposes. It's not going to work forever. I will eventually switch to Wayland when all these things I talked about get fixed, but that ain't today. Xorg is only 20 years old. Honestly, I would believe it was 40 years. How old is it? Let's see. I'm curious now. I'm genuinely curious. How old is Xorg? Oh, it's only 20 years. You're right. Its initial release was 2004. Maybe some of this stuff I just said is wrong. Let's see. Oh, God bless. I'm blinding you guys. It's late night. Can't do that. So originally, let's see. Was it? I heard it was for printers at starting off. No, it's a windowing system. Interesting. Anywho, yeah, it's old. But it works great for me. Wayland's 15 years old? Oh, I gotcha. X11 is what I was thinking of. X11. Still redirects to X Windows system. Okay, yes, okay. Xorg does not equal X11. Okay, X11 is what I'm rocking. I should specify that in the future. Thank you, DevOps Panda, for calling me out there. It is 40 years old. The X architecture system, it was made in 1984. Wow. That's kind of wild. So yeah, it is 40 years old. So it's a little long in the tooth. I mean, it's still younger than me. So it's not that old. I kid. I mean, it's true, but let's see. Wayland protocol. Wayland's 15 years old. I figured it'd be better. Could have fooled me. Okay. Well, that's kind of where we're at. Sorry for that long-winded explanation. Xorg is like X11, but on steroids. Yeah. Bogan says, I've been hearing Wayland's almost ready for general consumption for like 10 years now. Yeah, man. It's been a long time. I'm right there with you. That's why I'm skeptical. Like, that's why I was like, I understand why Red Hat's pushing Wayland on like Fedora and making sure everything ships with Wayland. And more people are doing it. I think Ubuntu is going to ship with Wayland now too, or the latest release does. Don't quote me on that, as I don't use Ubuntu, but you know, it's close. It's really close. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like when it comes to all this stuff, Linux community is so wild. The one takeaway I really want you to make from this is not that, hey, Fedora sucks or you should use X distro here. Just know, no matter what problem you run into in Linux, there's literally 20 solutions for it. Full stop. It's not Windows. It's not Mac. There is a gajillion different things to configure and change, and you can do anything. If you thought it up, not only has it already been done, but it's probably been done 20 different ways. That's just Linux in a nutshell. It's wild. I love it to death because every time I think I really get a grasp of what it is, there's some nuance I missed. Like the difference between Xorg and X11. X11's 40 years old, Xorg's 20 years old. I kept conflating the two. What a rookie mistake. I'm still young, I'm still learning. But it's fun. There's so many different like nuances to it. So never think that like, oh, this is a lost cause because this program doesn't work. Good chances are there's ways to make that thing work and someone's already done it and they've probably done it 5 different ways. It's wild. And every version is still not perfect. So you make your own. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's kind of like how Linux is. You just kind of figure out what works for you. And my next video I recorded today was specifically about that. Why I use what I use on this. Like, this is a weird setup. I'm using Arch Linux. I'm using DWM for my window management. I don't have a desktop environment. I have Xorg installed. I don't even have Pipewire for audio. I'm like full old man mode over here with my Pulse and my ALSA. And everything's configured with basically through etc, through terminal. And I do it that way just because it works really good for me. And I get that that's not for everybody. Thanks for the bits there, Randy. But yeah, I absolutely adore Linux though. Like there's like even like the crap I say, like I've said Ubuntu's the devil or don't use Red Hat because they're screwing over sysadmins. There's a lot of things that I get critical with in Linux. And it's mainly just because I love it so much that it's hard not to get kind of opinionated about some things. But at the same time, I'm glad those things exist because there's just different options. What works for me doesn't work for others, but also what works for others might not work for me. And there's just an infinite amount of options. But Ubuntu is the devil. It's true. You know. So's Red Hat. But it's okay. I mean, at least they're not Microsoft, right? At least they're not putting a recall feature in. A lot of this stuff, let's put it in perspective here, guys and gals. Let's just put it in perspective for a second. This is what most people are dealing with right now. So when I come to Linux and I critique or I bash some of the big Linux distros, don't take it as me saying, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. I'm never going to use this stuff. I use Windows. I mean, come on now. That's where I'm at. So when I see like a Red Hat or an Ubuntu, if I had to pick between Red Hat or Ubuntu or Fedora, you know, and Windows, I would pick them any day of the week when it comes to Ubuntu and Red Hat. They're still a lot better than the shenanigans that Microsoft pulls. So again, it's don't take everything so literally. Just remember there's just an infinite sea of options and rabbit holes to go down, and you just have fun in your computing experience. Whether it's Windows, whether it's other stuff, Mint, whatever works for you, just have fun. That's the big thing. Do you use macOS? Not anymore. I used to use macOS a lot. I still just never really liked it though. Are you going to do a video on Windows 11 LTSC? Probably not. I've done one in a while. It's a while back. It's just the licensing between LTSC is not the best. I love LTSC. Don't get me wrong. If you're a Windows user and you have an LTSC license, it's great. I love LTSC. I say there's no reason not to use LTSC, especially 2022. The older versions of LTSC do have some dependency issues or kind of problematic. I think 2018 is based on 1607. It's actually before the creators update. It might even be 1703. But anyways, I don't like the older versions of LTSC. But if you have LTSC 2022, it's actually pretty damn good. I like it. Very, very good. MicroWin question. Any way you could add an option to add drivers? It's already there. I want to find an... Yeah, Rich. Let me show you real fast. Let's show you real fast. That's already there. Let's pull the official project. This is the test branch. We're gonna get through this. How close? Oh, God, it's streaming for. Oh, it's only an hour and a half. I'm doing good. So right here, let's just grab the. Oh, that's the scratch folder actually. Let's select the ISO. Ooh, actually. How long ago has it been since I downloaded the ISO? Is there a new ISO? Is it still 24H2? Oh, let's see. Download Windows 11. Oh, let's see. Multi-edition. Download now. Let's go English. Confirm. 23H2. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll just grab this file because that's basically what you'd be getting. Take a couple minutes to download, but not too bad. 24 still in Canary. I think that's what I'm rocking here. Am I? Jeez, I've screwed this Windows up so bad. Ugh, gross. I'm on 24H2. That's okay. I like kind of being on the Canary build just so I can see all the terrible stuff that's coming in the pipe and I can test against my toolbox against it. So by the time it goes public, usually by that period of time, all my tweaks and everything's all got all that ironed out. So just the sacrifices I make to make sure we got it working before right on launch. Because I really don't like being out of the loop there. So we have that coming in. It's almost done. I couldn't manually install the driver. Let's try it real fast. Let's just do a run of the test build. I've been meaning to test this, and I kept saying I'm gonna. All right, so we got our new 23H2. We're doing the mount of the drive. All right. We're copying the files. I've been meaning to do an update to MicroWin as well to do some more work on the run space a little bit. I think the run space, we could do some optimizations for MicroWin. NT Lite, I think, just does a single thread for a lot of it. Have you ever noticed NT Lite's really slow? I really wanted to make sure that's good. Finding suitable pro. This can take some time. Do note this is an automatic process that might not select the edition you want. Okay, great. Wait for that to pop up. Okay, so we got Windows 11 Pro. Check the steps. We're good. Inject drivers. And typically, you would just put them all right here. There was... Oh, did I launch... Oh, I did it from christitus.com. That's why. We have a couple fixes coming for this. But to inject the drivers, what I would do is... Dang it. Where is my... I will do it manually. I did a video on this too. I think I did. Or at least I intended to do a video. We'll just do it right now. Shoot. Let's just go to make directory. We'll call it drivers. CD drivers. And then we're going to go Windows, export Windows driver. I think I can just do, what is the export Windows driver? God bless, I can't remember the syntax. Stupid PowerShell. And there's syntax, export Windows driver. I think we can just do path. All right, let's just grab all of this. It's going to be online destination, and then we'll specify our PWD here. Can I do PWD in Windows? I can't remember. I probably should have checked to make sure I could do that syntax. That'd be funny. Okay, it did work. Cool. So this is all of our current external drivers for the system in the C users drivers directory. We're just going to copy that, come into here, paste that. We're going to keep Defender and Edge. Let's keep provision packages as well. And start. And then let's say we go MicroWin. Was this 23H2? Yeah, 23H2. Save. And that should run and mount. So I would export the drivers. Let me see. There was another tool actually. So if you don't want to use the export drivers command, I just wanted to show, I hate showing people third-party tools when you can just use a PowerShell. That's why I like to kind of do everything from Microsoft. And you really, like, I just don't trust most third-party tools. It's just, why bother with them if you can just do it locally? But let's just go on the website. I think I've done something here. It was not that long ago, I want to say. God bless me and my faces. Here we go. Drivers and Windows. This was it. Yeah. So you can use the export driver, which I just showed, but there was a good export tool called Windows Driver Store Explorer. Raptor is the short name. And start using it, the release page. So you can click on this and download and run it, and then export your drivers directly here as well. Let's extract all this. We'll just do that real fast. All right, now we can launch it. So Driver Store Explorer, this is actually on GitHub, it's free. Here's all the system drivers. So what you could do is just select all or export all drivers and then select the folder if you wanted a GUI. How I did is also proper too. So to see that process, here's the actual making all that and injecting all the drivers. You can see the drivers that it's injecting is right here, the C user subscriber drivers. And let's see, where are you at? Oops, wait for program to respond. Kind of wanted to, mental note, I need to make sure we don't commit that. That would be bad. Let's wait for this program. Darn. All right, we'll get this going. But if we go to subscribe, and you'll see the drivers from that command right here. So here's all the drivers in my system, and it basically just puts it in a nice and neat INF folder. So you could inject them directly, and this is how you go about doing that. Hopefully that was somewhat coherent. It is late, so. Oh yeah, you don't want to inject your drivers. You want to do this directly on the system that it's running. So you can grab the existing drivers. But if you don't have those drivers, you could use Snappy Driver Origin tool and download the drivers directly to it. There's a lot of different ways to kind of skin that cat. But hopefully that helps you. It helps you out, Rich. When are you making the ISO for another PC with a different config? Would you still export drivers? No. If I was doing it for another PC, I wouldn't export the current drivers. I would just go to that PC and either export the drivers, or I maybe get like a driver pack and then inject those directly using like Snappy Driver Origin, Installer Origin tool. It's a mouthful, but that's also, it has a huge pack. So you could technically let's say you wanted to download every single network driver in existence. It's actually only a couple gigs. If you wanted to download almost every single driver in existence for Windows, it's closer to like 60 or 70 gigs. So you could actually make an installer for Windows 11 that's like 70 or 80 gigs big. Huge. Huge. But you could do it. And it would have every driver for every system that you could possibly want. Yeah. But it's so much fun, though. So much you can do. I formatted a laptop before touching anything, as it came with Norton pre-installed. Oh, Norton. So classic. Oh, install Batcat. It's either Bat or Batcat, depending on the distro that you're on now. One last question. What about Clear Linux on my old Mac? Why Clear Linux? I guess is the question. I mean, you can. Clear Linux is a fine distro. It's just containerized distro that's pretty limited in the package manager swupd, swupd. It's this kind of a weird package manager, and most of everything it likes to rely on is Flatpaks, app images, those types of things. It's stable enough. It's just limiting in my view. Oh, okay. I had no idea it was Intel, so that's what I know. I got you, Neo. Well, yeah, I wouldn't use Clear Linux. I probably would just use Debian. Debian's a very, very good choice. Or even Linux Mint, man. It depends on what your comfort level is, what you kind of want the look and aesthetic to feel like. Linux Mint's a solid one. For someone new, I always usually push Linux Mint, as it usually has very, very good defaults. There's still a couple things that pop up here and there, but usually not too bad. Do you have experience or recommendations for imaging a machine? I've seen MDT, Fog, Acronis, plan on doing Windows 11. Fog is my favorite of all time, Atomic. Acronis used to be great. I used to love Acronis, but everything's kind of software as a service now, so I don't really use it much anymore. So a lot of times I'll use my personal system here. I use Synology Active Backup. It comes with every Synology box, which is great. So if you're into Windows imaging, it's amazing. I love Synology boxes and the software that comes with them. It's freaky how much you get for such little money. If you're not wanting, obviously, a NAS type solution and you want to do images directly inside Windows, probably Maximum Reflect is probably what most people would use now. If you're doing it outside of that and you want to image tons and tons of machines, Fog is amazing. It just depends on how you want to go. What is the best Debian lightweight? For the lightweight distro, there's Peppermint, Lubuntu. I would say those two are probably my favorite lightweights out there for the Linux realm. Macrom Reflect. Yeah, that's it, Smokey. It should be free too, I want to say. Or if there might be a one-time fee with Macrom. I do remember using it a little bit and it worked fine for me. Yeah, awesome, Baskin. Yeah, I'm going to try for the summertime. I'm going to try and do at least 1 or 2 late night streams a week, and then also have my usual like afternoon, Tuesday, Thursday. With the kids being out of school, I can just sleep in now, so I'm I don't mind staying up late messing around with computers. It's kind of my jam. Acronis not anymore. Acronis is all software based, subscription based now. So it's still not terrible. It just Acronis really hasn't evolved very much. It's just moved from a one-time fee software to now the hey, you pay until you die, which I just never really like. I do not like the paid monthly. I don't like to rent my software, is what I'm saying. Ah, okay. 1 p.m. It's Aussie. All right. Yeah, this is about 10 p.m. at night for me. Yeah, well, Acronis is, I think a lot of it is based off of Windows PE, the physical environment. So it looks like a Windows 95 theme, but I want to say they use a lot of the Windows SDK and a lot of the automated stuff from Microsoft, and then they just kind of added their stuff on top of that. So when you're looking at Acronis, it's just an old version of Windows PE, which is like a portable edition of Windows. It's just whatever engineer did that, I think, left a while back. So they haven't really done much with a lot of the stuff. I covered Acronis. Actually, I think they did a video sponsor with me a year or two back, probably a couple years now. And yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I would not recommend Acronis. It's too clunky now. I'm with you there, Atomic. Okay. Invoke. We do have an old. Oh, the LNK. That's right. We're running it directly. We fixed this bug with a new PR we did tonight. So I probably should have just run this locally instead of running it from here. But I know the new version that we're about to merge won't have this error. Whew, all right. Yeah, it's kind of wild how many old Linux distros are still around. Slackware is still around. I think Slackware is the longest running Linux distro, active Linux distro. 6 a.m. in Kenya. All right. Whew, look at that. I'm definitely not waking up at 6 a.m. today. Well, when I was visiting Colorado, I woke up at 4 a.m. to do the drive. So the drive from here to where I was staying in Colorado was 14 hours. So me and my wife, we woke up at 4 a.m., threw the kids in the back, just got on the road and just jetted 14 hours straight. We didn't have really many stops. So that was a fun little vacay. I still like driving though. I've always been kind of I don't mind doing long drives because like when we left and came back yesterday, I don't know. There's something peaceful about like everyone was asleep. Didn't even have any music going and just like sitting on the road for probably 3 or 4 hours. It was just me and the road and I could just see the sunrise. Something's majestic about that whole scene where you just are left with your thoughts looking at the road. I don't know. It's just my thoughts on that. So I don't really mind long drives. Greetings from Chile. All right, man, got everybody in the world here. It's amazing. Long drive road trips are the best. They are. I used to do them all the time when I was younger. Very rarely, maybe once a year, we'll do a long road trip nowadays. But when I was younger, I used to I loved driving at night when I was younger. Now I can't do it. I have to wake up early. I'm old man where I can't drive through the night like I used to as a kid. In my 20s. In my 20s, I did it all the time. But yeah, these days, I'd much rather just go to bed at like 9 p.m. and then wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning and then jump on the road. It's much easier. Which I know sounds crazy to a 20-year-old. 20-year-old me would be making fun of 40-year-old me now. But yeah. We're almost done here on this export. And then we'll finish off. I think we have just some PRs to finish up here, and then we should be good. There's a bunch of... I need to stream more at night. Like I said, I will. All right, so we're good here. The dismount image. A lot of this, I think, was... directory not removed. That's fine. Let's take a peek. Did it even drop that into... was it my desktop where we put it? Yeah, I don't think it did. That's okay. We're gonna just blow this out real fast. I know exactly what wrong. Running it from the live one. That's how you do it with the drivers, but that is not exactly. Where's GitHub? I don't have GitHub sourced over here. Well, did I put it in? I did. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna pin GitHub. We're gonna clear out some of this stuff. And then we'll continue with our PRs. And then I want to merge this to main and do some testing tonight because that is the whole purpose of this stream is to get this done. Pin to quick access. Yeah. All right. So WinUtil. Now we have the scratch directory. This is where like all of the setup for MicroWin. Put it. Scratch. All right, well anyways, let's just do a permanent delete of that folder. Perfect. And I wanted to test. All right, cool. So we got that. Let's fetch. Working on a clean branch. And now we got that, and kind of wanted to do comms. flip this over here. Oh man, a huge EverQuest fan. Yeah, I wish I could do more of my... I think for the gaming streams, I probably would do a whole different channel and just kind of build it from scratch. Because what would happen, like I've done a couple gaming streams just to kind of dabble over here. And the reason a lot of people follow me here is just for the tech stuff. So if I ever did like a gaming thing, I might like just link it down below where I'd be like, okay, I'll make like a gaming Twitch channel and then my tech. If I were going to do that again. Because I ended up, what ended up happening was I actually started playing a bunch of Age of Empires 4, and then some people were like subscribing for Age of Empires 4 content, and then I had all my tech audience on top of them, so they're like competing with each other. So some people would be like, what the hell, this isn't Age of Empires 4, what kind of voodoo are you doing on your system? So I had like this weird mix mash for a little bit there of Age of Empires 4 people and tech people when I was streaming a good bit for a month, and that's not good to have two so diametrically different audiences. So if I ever do that again, I will make like a separate gaming live stream channel. Lately, I've actually been playing Fallout 76. I hate to admit, but you know, hey. Yeah. Never cross the streams, man. Don't pull a Ghostbusters. All right. Let's just grab WinUtil. And let's see. We are still rocking with this PR. Able to set default terminal to PowerShell 7 in Windows Terminal. All right. Deleter branch. Thanks, Meritech, for the fixes of Windows PowerShell Core. One button. Able to install Windows PowerShell 7 and set the default in Windows Terminal. Let's see. Interesting. Let's see what these do. All right, for the tweaks section, replace default PowerShell 5 with PowerShell 7. I like that. That's kind of cool. And then invoke PS7 tweak. Ooh, this is a cool commit. Shoot, I want to do this. Let's try this commit. Man, let's approve. And it's Blue's Will. Yeah, Blue's always has some good stuff. Blue and Meritech. Both those, they've had some really good commits in the past. Long time contributors. Oh, that's going to be a nice quality of life. I hate PowerShell 5. It sucks. So let's just double checking everything. Let's merge that in. Squash and merge. And then I want to test this out. Fallout 76 is an online version of Fallout. It's fun. But I mean, it's still jank. It's Bethesda. So if you're not a Bethesda game fan and you don't like Fallout, you won't like that game. It's slowly gotten really good. I think Gaming Historian did probably the best Windows Fallout 76 game of all time. He did a great rendition of all the problems it had. Let's go. Let's pull that down. We got 2 pulls, which is what we want. All right. Just one more just to make sure we're up to date. WinUtil. Now, when we have tweaks, we got to change. We're going to have to fix this so it's not so out of order again. I do really like this tweak now. If you look already on my PowerShell, you can see I'm defaulting to PowerShell 7. But PowerShell 5 can be kind of problematic. I'm not going to run the restore point. Let's run this tweak just to see. Is already installed. Settings file found. Default program updated to the PowerShell using the name attribute. Okay. So then let's just go terminal first. That looks good. And then finally terminal with admin. Shouldn't be any change, as this is already mine. But I wanted to test the tweak. I like it. I think I will change that to an advanced tweak and then readjust. So let's modify this so it doesn't get away from us and it makes a little more sense, looks a little bit more clean. So let's come on over into here. This is what it looks like. As tweaks tab, we need to modify. You can see replace default PowerShell 5. 7. We need to move that down to advanced tweaks. Set hibernation is fine. We need to move disable Copilot up to the disable portion. Let's just do that. And we'll have to code this in. Let's make sure we're working off a clean branch. We are. We'll make our own. We're going to do our own little PR here. I should probably do a PR, but I'm not. I'm just going to commit it direct. Because that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Let's go functions, config tweaks. And we're going to find that PowerShell tweak. 5. We can see that's where that is. Replace, run. So let's change this to a 9. Ooh, no, actually. This is essential tweaks. This should be more in the advanced tweaks section. I mean, I kind of like it being in the regular tweaks tab, but I feel like making it an essential tweak, actually. Yeah, let's make an essential tweak. Yeah, all right, fine. Because honestly, there's no reason for anyone to be using PowerShell 5 when PowerShell 7 is there. PowerShell 7 is just better in every way. So that's fine. All right, now we're going to go disable Copilot. Disable Copilot. For this one, we actually need to push it up to the disable tab. So we're going to go 05 for this one. And what else do we have? So we're taking replace, shoving it down to be run along the run. The delete, I kind of want to push up a little bit. I kind of like delete near the disk run cleanup though. And then set hibernation, we also need to push, God bless, set hibernation as default. I don't like the wording there. We probably should. I see why the wording. I'm trying to think of something that might look a little better. Anyways, let's go set hibernation and set services. We'll get that. Set hibernation. This one tweaks home, tweaks location, Copilot off, services 14. Probably like a 13 here. We could do a 14 though. Let's go 14. Yeah, definitely adding the Copilot. You just got to get rid of. It's just such a. It's like a half-baked tool that doesn't work at all. It just sucks up resources. It doesn't make any sense. Like even if it did everything it wanted to do, it's not even. The idea of it's pretty terrible. Like Copilot itself is okay when doing like coding. Some of the predictive text is not awful. Most of it's wrong, though. And if you let it do more than one line, oh, God bless your soul. It's just going to be a hot mess. But the rest of Copilot is just straight up a dumpster fire. All right. What else did we need to fix? Was that it? Originally, I was going to move some of this outside of it, like the set hibernation as defaults. All right, let's relaunch. Let's do this commit and relaunch. So basically we're just kind of reordering things so it looks a little better. It's protected. Did I redo how I'm doing my commits? Honestly, I probably should do this as a PR, but it's just going to be me doing a PR. But doing the blame, yeah, I think that's why I kind of wanted to start doing PRs. So the blame lies with it leads you, because sometimes the blame doesn't do it when I'm editing a bunch of stuff and then I'm just directly committing it, and then you don't have that history, so we don't know who to blame. Yeah, dang. Suggestions for first computer language to learn in 2024. I think just pick a project and then figure out what the best language for that project is and then just go tackle it. I don't think there is really a best language to learn. You kind of just need to start. I already have under advanced tweaks. Oh, geez. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for catching that. Tweaks. Oh, yeah. Disable Copilot. Disable Copilot. So we have a couple different ones. What's the call look like on this? All right, 1 second here. Let's come back into here. How'd that get closed? Oh. Oops. I have it open in 2 spots. My bad. All right. So we have, let's just go Copilot. So Copilot off up here. Disable Copilot. A very basic script. The right. Oh, that's pretty funny. I think what we're going to do is remove this whole Copilot off tweak from Essential Tweaks. That's pretty funny. But I think we've already kind of done this. Let's double check. Show Copilot button, turn off Windows Copilot. I went a little different direction here. I did it all through a script. This one, registry. Let's just combine the two. I don't know why I did it as a script down there. Let's come down. So here's the registry. Yeah. Now we have show Copilot button. We have turn off Windows Copilot. Original value 0p. Should be 0. And I want to expand this a little bit. So this is policies. This is basically a group policy for this. It's duplicated. And really what this should be is taking the H key, say U, advanced. Let's copy that guy. Okay, so it's grabbing and making a group policy for local machine and current user. Hence the duplicative value. Okay, that makes sense. So for this one, let's also get rid of the show Copilot button. And then this is the policy. I was originally only doing it through current user, which is great. Okay. So we're doing both local machine and current user. Let's come back to this old version. What we're going to do is just kind of combine the two, take the best of both worlds, and end up with something fantastic. So we'll have our remove Copilot. We're going to do a DISM remove package, force it out of the system right here. All right, perfect. Okay, yeah. For DISM, I kind of want that a little bit more descriptive. That's okay though. It's not wrong. Yeah, we're going to fix that with Copilot. And then for the undo script, this one, I guess we could add the package online. I don't think we can call that in. I mean, we could. Let me think about this, because you can't call the package directly. I might be able to add the package back in. All right, let's just go. Let's see what. Let's see if Copilot can fix and reinstall Copilot. That'd be pretty funny. That would be. Oh, that would be choice. All right, cool. Thanks, Copilot. Copilot plus on the job. Look at that. The one time Copilot works is when we're trying to make registry entries to grab the Copilot package to reinstall Copilot. Copilot's like, hey, I got this. I know how to reinstall myself. You gotta love that. That's just a thing of beauty. All right. Beautiful. For remove Copilot, that looks great. Now the old version of Copilot, obviously, this Copilot off, we got to get rid of. It was good. It made the other Copilot better. So I do appreciate the commit. But overall, it's not something I can use 100%. So now we have this commit. We got this. We're removing Copilot. We're changing the order of things. Expanding Copilot a little bit. Instead of doing a set item property, we're setting it this way through JSON. We have our removal and then reinstall of Copilot for those crazy people that want it. Maybe they'll actually make it good one day. And I think that's good. Let's fix that uptake. We're going to just directly commit and push. Oh, okay. I think I have a problem with that commit. That's okay. Let's just come on over here. Lazy G. And tweak ordering. Dude, what happened here? Let me re-sign in. Okay. Two-factor error again. Okay. And then I think we just need one more redirect. Wonder why my GitHub's causing so many issues here. Anyhow. Okay. Just double checking. All right, we're good. We're back. We're back. It's supposed to be remove poop pilot. Poop pilot. I know. I love it, but yeah, there's gonna be something happen. I'd rather future-proof it as much as that's a great joke. All right, here we go. So one more fetch, we should get a pull. All right, GitHub Actions is done. Pulling down the final script. Now let's double check to see how this looks. Actually, I'm gonna keep this over here. All right, so we got that. We're now up to date. And we should have a later script with the correct order on our tweaks page. As you see, everything looks good. All right, and then when we go standard, the replace default Windows shell and then set hibernation as default for laptops. I wonder if there's a way to just to read whether or not, you know, I'm gonna leave those off. I feel like that's okay. I'm almost, as much as it a little bothers my OCD to have this space here, I'm actually okay with that. Because alphabetically, it's still okay, except for this delete run files, actually. Delete temporary files probably should get pushed to up here by create restore point. Yeah, let me fix that. Dang it. It's going to bother me. Yeah. I just got to change that. So let's just, let's go restore point. That's A001. What's a A002? Okay, there's no A002. So let's go delete. Temp files. Let's put this delete temporary files at A002. And we're going to fix the order. Yeah. Let's just commit and push. We're just going to override. Lazy G. Fix. Del temp order. All right. Great. Oh, doing good. Life is good, Tails. 24H2 tech. Yeah. All right. So now we have that. I should code it to random sort the order every launch. That'd be fun. Maybe for April Fools, I'll do that. You have disables for Copilot, but disable for all the rest. Oh, geez. Really? Do I? Let's go Copilot. Oh, you're right. Dang it. Okay, so disable Microsoft Copilot, and then that's, thank you for pointing that out. Let's just lazy G this over into fix disables to disable. Man. Oh, pull. What happened? What did I do? Wait, what? Just close that. What did I do? Okay, that was weird. Oh, I think that was a WinUtil. God bless. Let's just double check. Oh, well, Tails, we're already working on that. We already got pretty much disabled, all that done. Recall's not going to be in 24H2, so we should not really have any problems with that, which is good. History, we got that commit. The merge. It's all going to get overwritten anyway, so it really doesn't matter. That's fine. Let's just push it. Okay. It's fine. Update. It's just terrible. Oh, all right. Let's, oh, totally. Yeah, so the Copilot, AI, recall, all that's pretty much done. We've already got it mostly all coded in. So we'll get this all finished. It's going to be looking good. Linux Toolbox, I think we're going to work on a little bit tomorrow-ish in the afternoon stream. So work on some more things for Linux just to make people's lives a little easier over on that side of things. I really need to work more on that. I think my bash script's pretty good. I just need to fix a few more things and it should be fine. All right, so we got that. We should have one more poll. All right, one more poll. Jeez. All right, here we go. Come on, Chris. WinUtil. Now we look at the updates, config tweaks. Perfect. Like it. Thing of beauty. Clean. Everything's ordered exactly how I like it. Obviously, this is not quite alphabetical, but I kind of like how this is separated out. This is alphabetical. I think moving disable IPv6 and this over into our widgets over here is what we're going to do. This other stuff I think is fine. Yeah, nothing else in here really I care about. Okay. Gravy. Gravy, gravy, gravy. We're good. All right, back to our PRs. How are we doing on the PRs? I think we're down to only like 8 or so. Look at that. All right, now we've fixed it to be pretty much what I like. Let's move into some more PRs. We got a new person, Drab Spirit. He's never contributed before. File converter, Cocoa, variable fixed, added files, ditto, spot tube, and Sage thumbnails. Oh, Sage thumbnails, pretty good. Spot tube. What the heck is that? Interesting. Let's look at the JSON file. Ditto is an extension to use the standard Windows clipboard. SourceForge project has a WinGet and a Cocoa. Like it. And then we got file converter. All right, yep. It was actually files, which is a whole different project. Agreed. And then you have files down here, which was an alternate for File Explorer. Very cool project as well. Then we have Sage Thumbs, great for thumbnails. I've used that multiple times in the past. SpoTube, open source Spotify client that doesn't require premium nor user. Nor uses Electron. Well, that doesn't sound very illegal, but I like the idea behind it. 25,000 stars. We'll go. So if you install this, you can just listen to Spotify, huh? Oh, wow. An open source cross-platform Spotify client compatible across multiple platforms utilizing Spotify's data API and YouTube piped video JIO7 as an audio source, eliminating the need for Spotify Premium. By the way, it's not just another Electron app. Wow. Anybody know about this? I'm late to the game, I think. It's actually legal. It uses Spotify for the playlist and YouTube for the audio. Dang. That's cool. Holy crap. All right, we got a star of that. Take my star. That's cool. SpoTube. All right, well, if you're paying for Spotify, cancel it today. You just use SpoTube. That's cool. All right, well, I'm going to play with that offline. I don't feel like listening to copyright music on my stream right now. I haven't hit peak YouTube. That's cool. Very neat. Crap. Keep clicking the button to do the checkout. And I do that and... All right, why? Okay, fine. Can I just switch back to my branch? Yeah, getting better. Getting better with that. All right, now let's go back to GitHub. Let's open up our description. Very cool. Very cool. I haven't heard of SpoTube before. It was kind of wonky. I haven't tried the newest version. It's still neat. Yeah, that's a good ad. Well tested. Because I think it's a little broken. Yeah, definitely test it out. Let me know if you guys, what you all find on that. I think it's definitely worth adding. Open source, 25,000 stars on GitHub. That's very neat. So I think I'm going to go ahead and merge that. Oh, problem here. We need to change the... He's trying to merge it to main. Should go to test. Everything goes to test. Because we got to test it. Now, if I was changing the branch in here... damn it, I don't know. There's VS Code. I'm still not certain that this is the fastest way. I feel like sometimes it's just easier to come into the actual Windows utility over here, but it just depends. Let's look at WinUtil and what we're going to do with this. Come into our pull request. We're down to 10 pull requests. So very cool. Now we're going to hit edit to this one. Let's change this. Change the base over to here. I think I'm giving up on the PRs in VS Code. I think I'm just trying to make something work that, for me, I'd rather just go, okay, here you go. I think it's actually faster just doing it through the browser. I think for checkout in like testing the code, it's not bad, like for bigger PRs, but a lot of my PRs are just like, hey, we're changing and fixing your typo in applications.json. And I'm like, yeah, cool. That's not a big change. So let's go ahead and squash and merge. Oh my God, you're still using Pandora. Dang. I hadn't used Pandora in like forever. My 2014 Mazda came with Pandora loaded on it. I ended up ripping it all out though. The stock radio, installing some janky like third party. I think it was like Pumpkin brand for Android or something in my Mazda now. It's like halfway broken. Ugh, it's so bad. But I like the jank. I can still watch YouTube while I'm driving, which is good. I didn't just say that out loud, did I? Yeah, nobody will know. It's fine. All right, let's, we changed the branch. We approved the code. We looked at the changes. And all that looks really good. I like it. Squash and merge. Just double checking. Oh, Pandora moved out of Australia. That's crazy. Yeah, Pandora was such a great idea. Sadly, can't get it. Oh, man, that sucks, man. Well, it's kind of funny. So I have a great story with Pandora. When I was working in a contractor shop, this was like 15 years ago, like the peak of Pandora's height or fame. Like everyone had Pandora, and me and my buddy, his name was Mike, he had his own Pandora, and he would play his music. And he was a huge ska, which if you're young, you probably don't remember that genre, but ska music is its own thing, and it's very, very unique. Let's just say there's certain ska music I don't mind, but a lot of it's kind of out there. So one day, I forget what Mike did. He did something. Yeah, I think he had like too much protein powder and then was blowing it up back there, killing us all like sometimes he would do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get him back. So he had his Pandora signed in and was playing all his ska music. So I went in there and I thumbs downed every single song for like 15 minutes straight. Completely ruined all of his curated station. Oh, I loved it. Pandora. Such good memories. Okay. Let's go. The next PR. Yeah, I know. WinGet install returning code handling and window management. Ooh, very cool. If you had an application installing, clicking install update again, WinGet would install with an error code. Fast, thanks for the sub. No application update found, and therefore the logic for the fallback installation methods would start. Change WinGet window management, modified the window to install rather than create a new Windows for each install. Yeah, this is true. Personal opinion, I think it's a bit redundant. I think we should rework the function maybe after next release. It's clear the fallback works as expected. Maybe split it up into smaller logic blocks, multiple functions, to remove some of the repeated code and keep the quality of the code up to standard for the rest of WinUtil. Love all this, and I do agree with that opinion. So we're returning codes for a lot of this stuff. So no applicable. Okay, this is cool. No new window, no new window. Okay, let's uninstall and install this. This is a pretty big change. Not huge in code terms, but I do want to test it as this is like a core functionality of WinUtil. I do approve of these changes. Read couple hours. This is actually on one of the streams. Strike a good fallback on program installs. Okay, so let's approve this. I'm gonna merge it. I really think that's a good commit. And yeah, we do need to probably rework that and break it up a bit. At one point, it was just like a giant nested loop, and then we finally changed that around. Ugh, that was a terrible stream. So let's squash and merge this. Let's wait for our actions to go. We'll pull it down, test it. This is a big one. I think a lot of the other ones, is there any other? So we got a lot of different verifications happening here. Success. This was implemented to emulate Windows auto update feature. Check the logs. But overall, checking the logs isn't always a good idea. But for this, I tried multiple ways to force Coco to error upon warning, so we can at least try and handling. Yeah, so weird. WinGit is just so jank sometimes. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. Let's look at the actual code. So this is some logic for chocolatey installation. Man, that's a big commit to WinGit. Man, I don't think I'm going to touch this tonight. It's interesting. I don't know on this rework. I'm going to have to approach that with a fresh set of eyes. Too much where I'm like, too much. What the heck is this? Everything search 1.5a alpha. I don't want to do alpha. Yeah. Don't want to bloat things up with betas or alpha software. All right. Fix typo in file name. Modern TTY. He's committed before to the project. All right. Another grammatical error on my part. I don't know what was changed here. Looks the same to me, right? Was there like a space in here or something? If the problem exists after trying these steps, additional troubleshooting may be required. Consider seeking assistance from Microsoft support or community forums for additional guidance based on your system configuration software you are using to mount the ISO. That's the same thing. The name of the file, verse. Oh, fix typo in file name. Oh, okay. I fat fingered the file name in the wiki. Oh, okay. Oh, and then there's, okay, these two things. Make sure to, yeah, so he's using the old one. This was a PR that conflicts with this one. See, this is why I probably need to start splitting off my PRs. When I let it go too long, it gets a little bit long in the tooth, and it's like, ish. Anywho, we're good. Let's commit that. Drink some water. Yeah, good call. Good call, Tails. All right, so we got that. We should be fine now. Yeah, so merges were committed. We got that. Typo in file name. Merge. Right? Yeah, merge. Posture check. Just slowly. I was like, no, we're finishing this damn thing tonight. Getting through these things. Gotta get this update done. Power through. Oh, we're almost there. Voice meter. Okay. See, they did a big commit with like WinUtil and input. It's like, whatever. Sure. The thing is, like, WinUtil or input, like this type of change you don't need to do this. Like, this is all auto-generated. Same with WinUtil. So like, if you're ever going to do a pull request for Windows utility, you'll only need to change this. I mean, it's decent. It fixes some, like, this voice meter link. Let's make sure that that's actually a valid link. Yeah, it is. So that is actually needed to be changed. So we'll approve that and squash and merge. Yeah, see. Let's just go test. Was that an LTT? LTT.com, LTTstore.com. Yeah. Linus gave it to me. He said, here you go. So I was like, all right, cool. It was when I went to visit LTX. RIP LTX. I don't think they're going to ever do an LTX again after that. So I think I went to the last LTX. But I did get a free water bottle. And I got one of his screwdrivers, which the screwdriver, while it is overpriced at $70, it's actually a pretty good screwdriver. Gotta say. Kind of like, not bad. Let's just... See, this is one thing I hate about this. I should have just changed this myself instead of accepting this PR, but I'm feeling like a nice guy right now. Whatever. Like I said, it's auto-generated. It's going to be... Yeah, that's fine. Feeling for Linus. You got to appreciate the hustle, man. That man works crazy hard. All right. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we got this. have to check it twice just to make sure, but it's fine. We're just changing it to the test branch, fixing that. It's about to overwrite all that anyways. Be fine. Chris being hired by LMG. I don't think Linus can afford me. And I already have a day job, so it's kind of like, yeah, you know. I usually go to that like 1 day a week. They just moved, so we just got through a huge one. Remove WinGet does not work for VinCord. Installer fails. Additionally, the get install button does not recognize the package. So we're just removing VinCord. Okay. Yeah, VinCord is fine. I think that's a fine removal. Appreciate it. Yeah, here's the broken package. So we're going to squash and merge this guy. Look at that. Someone actually removing something for once in the applications. That's going to get a quick merge. Oh, no. What do we got here? FOSS QGIS application. Anybody in chat know what that is? Linus Tech Tips. Oh, dude, if he ever tries the Linux challenge again, I would fly up there in a heartbeat to help him out. I think that would be fun. Honestly, he has Anthony on staff, though. Anthony's pretty knowledgeable, or Emily's very knowledgeable. They should be able to take care of that. I think next time, but I really hope I could make something for that. Hopefully, I would love the Linux challenge to happen again. If it happens again, obviously they'll lean on Emily for most of that. But man, I would like to make like a specific distribution for Linus, like configure it for him and say, okay, what are all the things you want to do? What are all the hardware you want to use? And then I'm going to say, okay, that's good. That's good. That's bad. You don't want to use that hardware. We're going to use something different. And then explain why it's bad. And then go through it. Because Linux works when you pick out exactly what you want to use it for. But certain things don't work with it. So that's like the big myth that Linux folks tell Windows users, poor unsuspecting Windows users like Linus, that all the hardware just works. Well, no. You literally are designing a system with hardware specifications knowing you're going to put Linux on it. Not, hey, I got just some random piece of hardware, let's just throw Linux on here and just pray. You don't want to do that. You really want to pick this out. I'm still struggling to see, what is this? Open source geographic information system. Did anybody even say they know what this is? Huh. Nobody knows what this is. Interesting. All right, what did he do here? You got GIS under open source geographic information system for Windows, Mac, Linux. Then you have GIS LTR. Do we need an LTR release on top of the other release? I don't understand why we have two releases here. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. It just depends, but it depends on the user. Like everybody's Linux is inevitably is going to look a little different. It just depends on what you like. And that's the thing, and what your use case for Linux is. That's the big thing where like Mac and Windows is kind of pigeonholed and say, hey, you're going to use it kind of like a Mac or kind of like a Windows user. Linux is a bit different in that you modify the operating systems to your needs really to have the best experience. I feel like that's the best thing. And that's why I try to teach people like, hey, everything can be changed and customized. And that's the beauty of it. It's also kind of the downside of it because there's a lot to change. There's a lot of different options, and even understanding the options can be a long endeavor. It's fun. How much to pay you to help put together a perfect distro for me? Yeah, I don't take any, like right now, every waking hour is pretty much counted for. So I don't do any support outside. The clients I do have, I've had for like 10 plus years. Simple to use, but visual eye candy, dock design, similar to AWN. That'd be cool. Definitely have some neat things put together. All right. What do we think about this QIS thing? I don't know. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it for now. I'm too tired to think too much on that. Optimize display behavior based on category levels. Oh. Yes, I agree. That's a good commit. Man, Meritech, he has some good commits. And, oh, that's looking good. And then we got a new one called WPF object name. He's calling that. How is he changing that? Is it done dynamically? Okay. Filter, active applications, checkbox name. That looks pretty good, actually. All right, approve. Looks far better when searching. Thank you. 2 exclamation marks. Very, very impressive. Very impressive code right there. Let's do a merge and check that out. I really like that commit, actually. Let's pull it. 3 more pull requests. We're so close. And really, it's just this one. Okay. Update OSU config files and add missing extension. Right. Just changing some of the factor stuff, it looks like. And then for the recommended configuration, file renamed, functions public, WPF OOSU. PS1. Oh, yeah. That's the PS1 file's not. Let's look at that real fast. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's funny. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's fix that. And then let's pull in and look at those configurations as well. Approve and squash and burn. It's not going to allow me to do that, will it? Why is that? All right, fine. Let's try it over here. Let's just refresh. Come into here, description. We've already approved, but we cannot merge. Maybe we have conflict or resolution. Maybe we could actually fix this. Maybe not, though. Oh, the clip. All right, let me pull in the clip here. Let's watch the clip. And we should be done. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, hopefully, I would love the Linux challenge to happen again. If it happens again, obviously they'll lean on Emily for most of that. But man, I would like to make like a specific distribution for Linus. Like configure it for him and say, okay, what are all the things you want to do? What are all the hardware you want to use? And then I'm going to say, okay, that's good, that's good, that's bad. You don't want to use that hardware. We're going to use something different. And then explain why it's bad. And then go through it. Because Linux works when you pick out exactly what you want to use it for. But certain things don't work with it. So that's like the big myth that Linux folks tell Windows users, poor unsuspecting Windows users like Linus, that all the hardware just works. Well, no. You literally are designing a system with hardware specifications knowing you're going to put Linux on it. Yeah, that's pretty solid. It's amazing I'm that articulate this late at night. I agree with every single word of that. Sometimes I get some clips and I'm like, oh, damn, did I say that? But no, I agree with every single point of that clip. That's a very solid clip. All right. Yeah, thanks, Tails. It would be perfect. It would be a perfect YouTube short to shoot over to Linus. Yeah, I like agreeing with myself too. Yeah, sometimes I get bored and I just like to watch my own videos back and this guy's smart. He knows his stuff. Oh gosh. Yeah, I think I probably should. I don't do YouTube shorts or clips at all. I should probably do something, but do not feel like it sometimes. Now, why is that? How do I resolve this conflict? I like this PR, and yet I cannot resolve it. What if I do this? And then, all right, so we got our pull. Let's first launch. Just make sure we have a launch. All right, well, that's unfortunate. I hate the autocomplete is the right arrow key instead of tab. I don't know why Windows did that. They just wanted to be difficult. Anywho, just a Windows thing. All right, now we're looking good. Nougat. It kind of works. Okay. AMP. All right, nice. MSI. All right. Cool. It's a pretty good commit. Okay, so now we have that. Let's just lazy G PS1 add extension add. We're gonna move this. Hopefully this breaks loose whatever jank going on with the PR here, and then give it a second. We're gonna do a poll, and then we're gonna refresh. Yeah, shorts is amazing. Although, you know, I should pay more attention to shorts because Thor, Pirate Software, that's like how he exploded over on Twitch. Was his YouTube shorts just took off. The dude's like super articulate as well, so like every short I've watched from him, I'm like, damn, that's solid, Thor. That's a good short. So I don't think occasionally I'd have one or two that are good, but oof, he's just a short cranking machine. Just so many good shorts. Okay, now we've got that. Let's poll. GitHub Actions should be done. One more? All right, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's refresh it. Refresh. Refresh. Yeah, I'll definitely tag Linus in that. Yeah, he does a good job, though. He answers a lot of questions from the Twitch stream, and he captures a lot of them in the shorts. It's solid. I like I said, I need to get better about it. I know a lot of people aren't going to watch like a 3-hour-long live stream when there's just maybe like a 30-second or a minute clip in there that they might enjoy. Ooh. All right, refresh. Come on. What's going on here? Let's just reload. Okay. Resolve conflicts. Okay, so this temporary path. Yeah, right now he's trying to pull in the temp. So you go new item path, item type file. So you're creating this CFG based on that. But think about that for a second. Yeah, I really hate short clips. That's the thing. That's probably why I haven't also done it. Is just personally, I block it. I made a video. I think it's got like millions of views now, specifically over blocking YouTube Shorts. And man, I still, you know, stand 110% behind that. I just really don't think it's good for you. Okay, let me look at this pull request one more time. What are we doing here? Huh. All right, let's just refresh. Description. All right, fine. Close that. Already seen that change. And his change here from the invoke. So he's grabbing the value, invoke, web request, out file, OOSU. And then he starts the process with the argument list. I like it. Okay. That makes sense. So the old way, we were doing a new item path directly and trying to force that value in. The new way, we're setting the variable and then outputting it to it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I just had to think on that one for a bit. I know I shouldn't do this by hand, but alas, that works good. Yep, I'm almost done. 5 minutes. I'll be in there. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna squash and merge this guy. Like the new Oh No Shut Up extension. Eventually, I'm probably going to get rid of Oh No Shut Up altogether and just implement them all myself. Most of them are already there during the actual change on Oh No Shut Up on the utility. So I think what we're going to do is merge this guy directly in. I feel like that's almost everything. I'm thinking I'm going to wait for the main branch merge till tomorrow's live stream. Doing it this late is probably not a good idea. When we talked about Linux distros hours ago, which did you use? And Mint was okay to try and say for, yeah, all Linux distros are fine. You just got to understand what you do. Like when I do a distro, like you can put me on any distro and I just change it and it always ends up looking like this. This right here is what I rock, whether I'm on Debian, Arch, anything. This is what I usually rock. But for someone new, I usually recommend Mint because it has a whole bunch of baked in tools right out of the gate to make your life a little easier out of the, you know, for starting off Linux. But at the same time, sometimes you might run into something and know that there might not be a GUI available for it. There might not be a graphic user interface for it, and you might need to drop to terminal. It's going to happen probably eventually. I know a lot of people don't like me saying that, but it's kind of the truth. But Mint's a great starting pot. I always like recommending Mint. It never really has changed over the years. You have a video with what GUI you use, right? I think I saw that. Yeah. DWM. I think I've done a couple videos on it, and most of them are like the perfect system or whatever. I think the last one I did was about a couple months ago when I built this new system, and I kind of went into why I chose what I chose and how I made those changes. My system's definitely not for everybody though. I definitely want to put it out there like Mint, like Linux Mint's like a cinnamon based desktop environment, and it has a lot of tools that everyone can use. Mine is like bare bones, like a single binary file to handle window management, and everything else has to be configured via command line. That's not for everybody. Most people will hate that setup, but I love it. So, like I said, what works good for me might not work well for you. But I do want to actually explain why I do, kind of the method to my madness. I think this is where we're going to leave this. I still didn't do a main branch merge here. And I think I'm going to leave this one right here and this one. Shit, you know what? Let's merge. Let's do a main branch merge and then yell at me if this breaks everything. Let's do one more pull, one more run, and call it good, right? We've got almost every PR in. I'm going to leave those. I can't branch and merge them tonight. And the whole like rework and fallback bug and merge of Cocoa. I hate to drop that code, but at the same time, just looking at it, I'm kind of like, dang, man, that's going to be a bit of a cluster to get through. I mean, I see why those things are there, but it's not. Anywho, I don't know. Yeah, no. We're not going to do a main branch merge. It's like midnight, and I like came off a 14-hour car trip yesterday. That would be a dumb idea. Well, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to sleep on it. I think we got all this, and I'm going to test one last test. Yeah, that would be dumb. That would be dumb now that I think about it. Let's do a poll. Make sure everything is up to date. We're going to do WinUtil. Launch our one last time on the test branch. Everything does look in order. These tweaks look amazing now. Good order. Config, updates, tweaks, install. So what was the last one I did? I'm losing it. Yeah. Oh, customize shut up tweaks. That's what it was. Let's make sure that still works. All right, so it launches, accept changes. So these are the tweaks. Cool. Got those changes. So then what we're going to do is let's just clear it all. Let's grab the run O&O shut up, run the tweaks, and we're going to see that in the background, running a script for that, applying recommended tweaks. So then if we go customize tweaks again, let's make sure we have everything. What I'm going to look for is anything under limited or no that gets enabled. Yes. Limited. Good. The big thing is I want to make sure this doesn't break anybody's like search or break functionality or block like microphone access. There's certain things in here that do cause issues. A Copilot update to removal. Nice. Yeah, accept changes. That's fine. And I just wanted to make sure that is good. And it does look good. Yeah, the update is mainly Copilot related and also some diagnostics and telemetry updates to remove. Perfect. That looks beautiful. And it did actually remove Copilot too. So we're going to be having a bunch of different ways to remove Copilot, which is what we want. I definitely want checks and balances for that because that's going to be a great merge. I'm going to look at those other two PRs in the morning. I think I'll merge all this and get a new one pushed out tomorrow. And that should be pretty solid. All right. So we're good here. I'm closing this out. And Let's go. One last question before we go. Static VI, you're going to get the last question of the day. I have a question about Windows. Every so often, like every night or other night, I leave my computer idle. I will get the fans ramp up and the HD lights flash like crazy. Happens off and on throughout the night. Any idea? Yeah, that's called Windows telemetry. Had it happen to me, it's the whole premise around my utility. You would be shocked at how much resources the telemetry, the stock default telemetry in Windows uses. It can happen like that. It also not be Windows and the telemetry. It could be a task in Windows. One thing to explain, most Windows users don't know, is look at Task Scheduler. If it always happens at the same time every night, pull up your Task Scheduler, pull up your library, see what's happening every single day. I have a couple things scheduled to kick off here, you can see. And right now you got Microsoft Edge update, Windhawk, Run UI. That's like some third-party tool I installed that I forgot about. I don't know what all it does. But you also have all of these tasks in here. Let's see, what is Windows? Windows has quite a few. But you can go flip through and see what all is being triggered at what time in your system. This is everything Microsoft does, and it's rather extensive. It's something that, you know, like, actually now I'm looking at this, flipping through here, maybe like Copilot. Do we have that? Oh, that gives me some new ideas, actually. Yeah. Like I custom experience. I went through this once upon a time and went through every single task scheduler and added it to my tweaks. I think I need to go through again. Oh crap, I also got to do that BitLocker video. 23H2 and up, BitLocker is getting enabled by default. So you got to watch out for drive encryption. Microsoft thought it was a fun idea to toss in drive encryption on all devices. Anyways, got to do that video too. Yeah, but give you a good idea. That's how Windows works. There's a lot of crap in there, man. And hopefully that helps. Just tons and tons of stuff to do. There's a never-ending cat and mouse game of trying to optimize the system in Windows with all the different things. It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it sometimes. But I definitely like my reprieves back into the Linux realm where I can just be like, you know what I have running on this system? DWM. That's it. The system logs in, launches my one binary window program, and everything's right with the world. It's nice. Nice. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic night. I will be live tomorrow here in about 12 hours or so, give or take. I got an AC guy coming after he leaves. I'll probably fire up the old stream. We'll do some Linux tools. I'm going to probably wake up early in the morning, probably here in like 6 hours or so, and finish looking over those PRs and then merge into the main branch, everything we did today. We got through like almost 20 PRs, so quite a bit. About a 3-hour long stream tonight. It was fun. It's fun. So you'll be seeing these every once in a while when I have something going on. I'm like, hey, I need to do these tasks, and I'm going to try and get them in later at night. I know I don't have a lot of people watch me later at night, but I do seem like I get more done, which is good. So, all right, y'all. Love you. Have a good night.